forces are under attack.
Should you become a nuisance, I'll kill you myself.
Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of what? StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today on Metropolis, gonna be Jaedong versus Airfou in a very long, epic macro PvZ. Top right, an orange Protoss player. It is Airfou. He doesn't have a Liquipedia page, but kind of feel like he should. He's a former Kespa pro, which means he's pretty excellent. Top right, it's gonna be Jaedong, who has a Liquipedia page, probably one of the longest ones on the entire site. You know him, gonna be a white Zerg player as well. So orange versus white here, like a creamsicle. Haven't had a creamsicle in a while. I should have had one last summer. A little bit too cold for it now, but maybe that shouldn't stop me from having one, just because it is a little bit colder now in October in the Northern Hemisphere. It is currently 47 degrees outside, which is a lot colder than the 95 it was last month. So, let's go ahead and see what's going on here on Metropolis. Again, the name makes me think of a cityscape, and there's no cities here, man. It's a jungle tile set with high mesas. We've got scrub brush everywhere. We've got weird... Are those like rocks? Is it like fossilized plants? I don't know what that is. Anyway, it's going to be an overpool opening here from Jaedong on this 4-player map. It's going to be a gate opening here from Airfou. Everything should be good for Jaedong. Everything should be good here from Airfou as well. Man, I just watched the semifinals of ASL 20 yesterday. The Tastosis cast. Incredible stuff, man. I think by this point, everybody's watched it, right? Everybody who wanted to watch it has watched it. It's been a week since it came out from Tastosis, so yeah, incredible stuff, dude. I am still kind of heartbroken that Bisu ended up losing to Soma on Litmus because he just didn't accurately and correctly scout a really solid Speedling all-in build from Soma. Got that gas, got that metabolic boost up, came in, Lings jumped on the cannon, and that was it. Bisu was dead, and it's like, his scouting probe got sniped. That was huge. I thought he got a Zealot out in time to see the number of Lings coming and get him some time to wall off and maybe make another cannon, but he didn't, and Game 7 ended up going to Soma as a result. That was tragic. Game 1 on Roaring Currents? Dude, we need that map back for ASL 21. That is one of the greatest maps in the history of ASL. We get Devourers on that map. We get Carriers against Zerg on that map. We get Queens on that map. It's insane. So yeah, Roaring Currents, it solidified itself as one of my favorite maps in the history of StarCraft. I hope it comes back. The crazy map doesn't usually come back between ASL seasons. Like, I mean, Sparkle, for example, never came back as from ASL 11, I think it was. But anyway, I hope it comes back. Pretty good micro here from Airfou. Is it going to be Bisu level Zealot micro? Let's find out. Probably not. Yeah, this is a scouting guy. I'm not sure he's really intended to kill a lot of stuff, but he's dead now. Yeah, he's popped. He saw the hatch. Hatch timing saw it wasn't a hatch first and said, okay, fair enough. And then Probe says, you getting a third over here, buddy? Yes, we're being escorted by a couple Lings, though. So that's very nice. And bam, there it is. Third base, second nexus, third hatch. Just to be clear, for those of you who are listening, I know some people just listen to the cast, because I do try to do a pretty good job of giving you kind of a radio broadcast of what's going on here. It's a bunch of Lings, man. Holy smokes, it is what the Ling flood off of 3 hatches. Jaedong, what are we doing, man? He is making 2 more sets of Lings. He's got like 12 Lings on the map already. There is not a cannon here. There is not a Forge. The Forge is coming in. The gas is on the way here back at the main base for Airfou, and Jaedong's like, what if I had 1,000,000 Lings? Can I slip in? Can these Zealots, are they going to lose their position and the Lings are going to run in here? I don't know. Cannon, go. Get a cannon. Desperation time right now for Airfou, but he's got a nice wall off here, right? The Zealots want to get out here and attack these Lings, but they don't want to let the Lings inside. They kind of are, though. Good micro. Zealots positioning themselves to where the Lings can't get surrounds. One of the Zealots goes down anyway. There are a couple more Zealots on top of the cannon. They're going to get a cancel or a kill on that, but I'm not sure there are enough Lings remaining to where it's going to be a win here from Jaedong. More Lings coming across. Just 2, but still. Metabolic boost is on the way. He's droning now. He gets in. He gets the scout off. He sees there's not a Stargate coming in yet. And I think Airfou has held here. I think losing a cannon, losing a couple Zealots was problematic, but a lot of Lings died there too from Jaedong, so he can't feel too badly about it. Protoss fans are breathing a sigh of relief after I talked about a Ling bust taking down a Protoss in ASL 20 just 2 minutes ago. It looked like maybe we were getting the same thing. But no, Airfou's okay. I mean, this Ling's got 0 kills. He's okay. His buddy killed a probe there. 21 probes. I love the Zealots on the counterattack here, too. This is great. Sometimes Zergs like to make a bunch of Lings and then not make any more Lings and drone up. And then your Zealot counterattack gets in here and crushes everything. Hydra Den on the way. Good snipe on that one. Great pickoff there. And Hydra's speed is coming in. So is it a Hydra bust follow-up? Good grief. Man. Good grief. What a ridiculous, ridiculous showing here from Jaedong, being so aggressive. Ling's busting in, getting a scout off. These Lings did die. They were Jaedong Lings, but they got the scout off they wanted. They saw the Stargate. They saw the timing. It's not going to be a +1 attack on these Corsairs quite yet, but doesn't mean we can't start it later. More cannons coming in. You're going to want more cannons than 2 with this Hydra bust play. Macro hatch at the natural. Third base is done. Lings at the front plus cannons at the back is really hard to deal with. And this Overlord is going to die because your first Overlord is probably going to die in a PvZ. It's just the cost of doing business. Speed finishing up here. Not a long upgrade to wait for. Dragoons on the back line. Goon's not going to be very good. There's your Citadel. Yeah, Zealot legs, cannons. That's what you want. I'm not sure why we have a Dragoon at all, except maybe to help kill that Overlord, which, congratulations, you did it. But I feel like the Corsair could have done that anyway. Nope, Hydras have been scouted. The number of Hydras have been scouted too. Dude, Jaedong is just not going to let Airfou take any amount of rest here. He's going to be scouting him. He's going to be pushing him. He's going to be pulling him. More cannons are coming up. There you go. More than 2 are necessary here. And going after the Gateway. Let's do this thing. Gateway gonna die. Acceptable losses as well. That's just the nature. Again, the cost of doing business in PvZ is sometimes your Gateway dies if your enemy goes for a lot of Hydras. There's not much you can do to stop that from happening. Now, losing the Forge is a different situation. No upgrades have come in yet on that thing. He's got another Forge he's actually working on the +1 with because he knows this one's going to die. I like that amount of foresight here from our guy Airfou. Big fan of it. Got some other Airfou games on the channel as well. I've got an Artosis versus Airfou match that I looked at when I was kind of looking over the cast of Airfou I have on the channel, where he does carriers, and then we'll see how Artosis does against it. But yeah, if you want more Airfou games, let me know, and I can link you to a bunch of them. Maybe I'll make a playlist for Airfou. So yeah, that's a Sacrificial Forge. It died. That's fine. Second Forge is working just great. Thanks for asking. Droning as well here, right? 2 drones at the same time. Range upgrade for the Hydras. Coming. No, +1 attack. Just kidding. Coming in for the Hydras. On the Evolution Chamber. Those upgrades look very similar. Missile attacks and range upgrades look too similar. I think the design of StarCraft. More gates coming in. A 2-base, like 8-gate Protoss is pretty powerful. We've seen games where players like Bisu and like Snow in a PvZ have been pressured like this by Hydras, and then they just power up on 2 bases and like 50 workers, and then they make a ton of Zealots and Dragoons. They get Psystorm. There's the Templar Archives. They come out and they win. There was a game like that between Soma and Bisu. Yeah. And it's part of their 7-game series where it was a Hydra bust. It was very scary for Bisu. He lost a bunch of stuff at the front and then just moved out on 2 bases, had a ton of Dragoons and Zealots with speed and +1 and some really good Psystorms, and Soma just died. So, you know, just because you're getting pressured here as a Protoss, don't think you don't have any recourse. You can get out there. You can get some work done. On the other side of it, Spire is coming in. I like it. Spire sometimes could be a Mutatech switch. Try to snipe those Templar, and then all of the Zealots and Dragoons die without that Storm that is so important and integral. However, it could also just be Scourge to try to snipe Corsairs. Not that there's going to be a lot of them to try to snipe Obs, so that Lurkers are more effective. Not that we have any Lurker aspect yet. Yeah, that's the thing. I said Storm a few times there, because without the Storm, this doesn't work. Zealot Dragoon against Ling Hydra does not work. The Psystorm is what makes it work. It's what makes it scary. Range upgrade for Dragoons is coming in. He recognizes the threat of Lurker. There we go. Lurker aspect is getting fired up now. Psystorm coming in from the Protoss too. So falling back a little bit to the natural base. Sometimes the game in PvZ for the Protoss can be, when do I get a 3rd base? When am I safe to do so? Because Zerg's going to be out here with Lings and Hydras. They're going to have vision on your positions. You need these cannons to stay alive sometimes until Psystorm comes out. Players like Soma and Bisu, players like Snow and Bisu are some of the fastest third base takers in the Protoss world right now. Ooh, love the DT too. But this is not one of those players. So we'll see how Airfou does in getting a third base. I like mixing a DT into the grouping here too, or sending him on his own mission. Either way, DTs are pretty versatile that way. So one Overlord, bunch of Hydras. Couple Overlords, a bunch of Hydras. DT should not really be able to get much done. Overlord spotting the DT. No, definitely not. Look at this guy. And he's going to get spotted here. Oh, he does. He does get spotted here. He sees it. He totally sees it. And then the DT falls back because he knows the Overlord spotted him. Probe comes in to expand. Scourge sees the probe come in. There was a Ling here, but I think it got cleared out by some Zealots. Does the Overlord see that? Nope, Overlord doesn't see that coming up, but there's got to be a sense that there's a Protoss third base coming in here soon. That Ling got shut down. Scourge wiped out by Dragoons, and there's the third Nexus. 11 minutes and 7 seconds. Fourth base coming in down right for our guy Jaedong as well. So look, Jaedong's a heavy favorite here, but it doesn't mean he's going to win. That's something, I think if somebody has the skill to become a professional StarCraft player, so much so that we know who they are, that they can go to a macro game against somebody like Jaedong, then they can win. Like, there's no one who can get to the 30-minute mark of a game and never win against somebody. If you can get to the 30-minute mark of a game against someone, and they're not just like sitting back and letting you macro up for 30 minutes and then they come kill you. It's not like some kind of a huge mismatch that way. Then you can win. And I think Airfou's got a pretty good chance here. DT, 1 kill, 1 Zergling. Hydras, Lings, Lurkers out. Hive on the way at 11:50. Not even really trying to contest this third base coming in from Airfou. The question of the day is now, when will Reavers be on the way? Because we have all the other tech. We've got Dragoons. We've got Psystorm. We have Zealots. What else do you need? Maybe some mobs would be cool. Corsair Ball doesn't exist, which means, again, a Muta tech switch here by Jaedong would be really powerful. And I'm not a huge fan of Mutas in this matchup, as you know. But if they're sniping High Templar, then yeah, that is the best use of Mutalisks in this matchup. They really suck at fighting Dragoons, and killing Zealots takes forever for them too. But sniping High Templar, it's really powerful. So here's the stage of the game in a PvZ where the Protoss doesn't have to deal with Dark Swarm or Plague, but they have their tier 3 spells. So it's the best place for a Protoss to be. About 12 minutes, right? 12, 13, 14 minutes in a PvZ of a macro style in this way. And you try to get some work done, right? But look at that sunken line. Are you kidding me? Dude, Jaedong believes in sunken supremacy today. Look at him go. He's making more sunkens than I've seen in a PvZ in like a month and a half. Good man, Jaedong. I like it. I appreciate it a lot. Adrenals coming in. I just don't know why more Zergs don't do this. Sunken Lurker high ground with Hydra support is so hard to break, even if you have Psystorm. What this does is it buys you time to get up into the Defiler Mound and into the Adrenal and the Plague and everything. Now, Smart Protoss will go, oh, you're locked in. You really can't move out onto the map. You spent too much money on Sunkens. Let's get a 4th base down the left side. Maybe let's get a 5th base too. And maybe try to out-macro you. And even if you have Plague, even if you have Dark Swarm and scary things like Adrenalings and Lurkers, maybe we can beat you anyway. So I like this response here from Airfou quite a bit. He says, all right, you want to lock yourself tight behind your wall? That means I've got map control. That means I can expand a bunch of times. Expanding here would be cool. Again, expanding down here would be cool. Psystorming up the ramp. You know, you can kill some Lurkers, you can kill some Hydras, but it's just tough sledding. This is a narrow ramp. You can actually mine out these minerals and open it up a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this. Because why would you open up the ramp into your own base you're trying to defend? This one's wide open. Lings try to get in and snipe this base down. Too many cannons and a DT. Yeah, I don't think these Lings could have killed 4 cannons anyway, but the DT just casually hacking away really helped. That's the thing. DTs are great against Ling attacks on your bases, but not so good against, you know, Dark Swarm, Lurker, Plague type stuff. And with, yeah, DT not great there. You want Reavers for that. You want ye old Psystorm for that too. Robo coming in. This Robo's gotta be for Reavers, right? It does. Production tab is not showing me any sign of a robotic support bay yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Let's see if Airfou takes the 12 o'clock. Oh, he's doing that. Yes, so he's expanding here. Yeah, so he's basically keeping up economically. Jaedong is getting 6th base down, 5th base down this way too. And that's exactly what Airfou was up to. Zealots again trying to attack in, but Ling's sorry, and then Zealots shut him down. That cannon gonna die. Cracklings against cannons is just an unfair situation. Uncracklings against cannons is an unfair situation. Hold on. What are you doing? What? Oh, it's like, I've got enough to handle this. And actually, he just, wow. Airfou just barely had enough to handle that. That's incredible. DT with obs. Ooh, I like this play a lot. 1 DT with an observer. Coming in. Trying to snipe lurkers down. That's beautiful. That's a great move for sure. Maxed out Airfou. He's got 2-1 upgrades. The Zerg is at 2-1 as well on the Hydras. Dark Storm is up. He knew. Obs getting sniped out. Yeah, that was the sound of Obs dying. He's still got one back there, though. So the lurkers don't have free reign to jump on this quite yet. That's a lot of dead lurker sounds, man. Ling's jumping in. Sniping a High Templar inside the Dark Storm. More lurkers dying, dude. And then he's like, you don't have enough lurkers to really stop these zealots. It's a very interesting line between you have enough lurkers to stop these zealots versus you don't have enough lurkers to stop these zealots. Sometimes you can run in with the zealots and crush them, and sometimes you go in and you get evaporated. This is a really titchy, nice plague. Defiler coming from the north. Wasn't expecting that at all. Airfou definitely wasn't. Nice plague. Get it. It's got 3 hit points left. Oh, okay, fine. I guess we're pulling back. Airfou says, we got plagued. I don't like that at all. So we've got even base count now. 62 and 62 workers. Protoss is feeling pretty good about this. Both players maxed out. Protoss is working on Reavers now. Yep, look at that. Reaver production, bottom left, as predicted. Where is the robotic support base? Inside the mineral line of the main. There are still resources here. You kind of pulled the probes off a little bit early. Plague again. A lot of dead Zerg here, but the plague grinding is real right now. The Defiler, can he make it home? After the crimes he has committed, he can make it home. Do more consuming. Pretty dangerous stuff here. But yeah, happy Saturday. Tap the like button. Subscribe if you're interested in subscribing. I'm trying to get to 69,000 subs on the channel, which is a good number to have, I think. Good little milestone. That is so many lurkers. That is a melting and evaporating zealot number of lurkers here, especially with the +3. Yeah, +3 attack by Jaedong, as he should have at this stage. So this is an important base. This means I have more economy than you when this one comes up. And you have to have more economy than a good Protoss player if they've got the Archons and the Reavers and the Psystorm. Without it, you kind of die. 12 o'clock base is a big one as well. I mean, I've never seen Protoss take center here. I've seen Terran, and I've seen the Zerg do it. Never seen Toss do it. Maybe Toss will do it. Okay, Ling Hydra alone, not going to do well here. Ling Hydra Lurker, yes. Ling Hydra Lurker Defiler, extra, yes. Good Psystorm. Not really splitting out the Lurkers as well as I'd like to see here. I think he's trying to do it a little bit belatedly. Lings and Hydras jumping in from the north side, but dude. Yeah, a lot of that stuff dying. Not sure it's getting as much work done, but it is a maxed out Jaedong here versus 164 supply on the Protoss. Jaedong's got a bit of a bank. Airfou doesn't really. Mass Hydra's really scary. Storms it up, falls back. But yeah, it is 189 to 160 supply in favor of Jaedong here at 19 minutes. Airfou's pretty happy with what he has, and I think he's even okay with this existing at the 6 o'clock. 12 o'clock's going to be a big one. If Jaedong takes that, he probably wins hands down. He's doing it now. If Airfou takes it, then I think Airfou's going to win. If nobody has it, I think Jaedong has a slight edge. So that's what we're looking at. Is just kidding, cancel. So nobody has it. Jaedong is slightly favored here economically, assuming no crazy huge blunders happen. No. I understand the idea what you're trying to do here. Oh, maybe this base? Nope, Psystorm there. There are 2 Reavers back here and a Psystorm, sir. Yeah, you could Dark Swarm this all you want, but the Psystorm and the Reavers are going to make it very hard to happen. Okay, and an army at your back is going to be a problem too. All right, now 10 lurkers. Oh, picking off reinforcements. Oh, Jaedong, the positioning of those lurkers are so good. Yeah, these lurkers also trying to keep Airfou at bay. Here comes the attack into the bottom left 6th base. Reaver connections getting work done before the lurkers can even burrow. Lings dying is a big deal. Connections on the lurkers need to be big as well. Plague on the Reavers, but nobody's actually getting damage on them yet. The Lings try to jump in on top of them, but it turns out that Scarabs are pretty great, and the Lings get no kills there whatsoever. That is a hold. Thank you very much. That is a lot of dead Zerg for really not that much dead Protoss. It's not over yet, mind you. Okay, a handful of Lings rolling in here is kind of, sure, I guess. He just wants to finish off the gate. Oh, hang on. More cracklings coming in with the 3-2 upgrades. Reavers, you have Scarabs. No! Airfou doesn't have Scarabs. Why was he not making Scarabs? His Reavers are all going to die. No! Oh, there's a blunder if I've ever seen one. You can't not be making Scarabs on your Reavers in a PvZ. Ever. He's going to lose this base, and that puts Jaedong firmly ahead in this game. Well, it was looking okay for Airfou, but now that base is dead. Ton of income is lost. He's going to lose a few probes. Some of them evac into the bottom left here. He's desperately trying to bring more Reavers in. As soon as the Reaver on those, it gets plagued. Jaedong is just on point right now. Psystorm into the orange cloud. Reaver shooting shots into the orange cloud. You, Reaver, get in there. You have Scarabs. Fire into the orange cloud. I don't care what you're hitting. It's gonna be good. Okay, well, the Reaver did, sure. DT wanders in. Not enough lurkers to evaporate the DTs. Nope. Okay, so he holds bottom left, which is nice. But holy smoking Zola. Now an attack into the left side. 9 o'clock position. Dark Swarm. Plop. There it is. Saw that coming. Saw that coming. Psystorm desperately trying to do its best here, but I have seen a lot of PvZs in my day. I don't think it even matters if this gets held, and I'm not sure it's going to get held. There are still a bunch of lurkers in here. Oh, okay, well, huh. Yep. It's kind of incredible how something as small as you weren't making Scarabs on that Reaver just kind of cascades into all sorts of problems. I mean, I said Jaedong was... Oh, this base actually died in the meantime, though. Hold on a second. I said Jaedong was ahead. He still is. He lost the 6 o'clock to the army of Archons while I was watching the left side here. 12 o'clock trying to be retaken here by the Dong, but... Airfou's rebuilding his bottom left 5th. Mass Archon just coming in. Yeah, Dark Swarm Plague against 10 Archons doesn't do a lot. Yeah, Reaver Archon, scary stuff. But still force them to fall back. Oh, the shuttle got killed. I love the Plagued Archons. They look cool, but man, does it not mean anything at all. DT's trying to shut this base down. Ling show up with an Overlord to make sure that doesn't happen, at least not now. And the Archons have to fall back. So Jaedong mining on 2, 3-ish bases. Airfou falling back to defend his bottom left 5th. Got a new army here. Immediately gets plagued as soon as it sets foot outside of its own front door, which is a terrible position to be in. Psystormed. Consume. Ooh, Defiler dies in a storm. That's a great Psystorm by Airfou. 160 to 130 supply. Jaedong is up, but it's not by like 100 supply. This base is back. This base is maybe never going to get retaken. 2,000 gas on that is going to be pretty valuable, but I don't know. Late game minerals matter more than anything else. Cracklings against Archons. Again, if you have enough Lings, the Archons die. If you don't have enough Lings, the Lings all die. It's just a breaking point you can reach in the interactions between these two units. 18 lurkers in production. My goodness. Jaedong. That is so many. Mass lurker against Archon. Interesting. I'd still like to see a lot more Hydras here, but he turns them into lurkers. He's going to defend the 6 o'clock he's trying to retake here. Jaedong still has a bank, 2,000, 3,000 versus 250, which isn't a bank to speak of whatsoever. Trying to move up to the 12 o'clock. But Jaedong's defending up there as well. Protoss Army pretty mobile. Trying to Reaver up the ramp. There are lurkers there. This Reaver taking hits. Pick it up. Get out of there. Don't get sniped. Do not get sniped. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, there's a million lurkers, but also there's a million hydras. So, oh my gosh, the plague. The plague! Ooh! Oh, these zealots are just put to 50% effectiveness every time they take a plague. Okay, well, Jaedong's got this thing won at 25 minutes. Losing this and losing this was way too much to overcome. I know you killed the 6 o'clock. Congratulations. But Jaedong is taking it back. And he's got the 12 o'clock up and running now, too. So, this is so bad. This is so bad. Airfou trying to make a push to the 6 o'clock and kill it. He's got a big army. My gosh, Jaedong's plague timings today. As soon as there's a Reaver on the ground in range of a Defiler, he is plaguing that. He is just on top of it. This is one of the better PvZs I've ever seen Jaedong play, and I've seen a lot of good PvZs by Jaedong. Dude, that Defiler got in, gave the Zealots a kiss on the cheek, and got away with his life? No, only because he really stopped running. Okay, Archon's in the 6 o'clock. Reaver Archon, desperate hold by Jaedong. A desperate attempt to kill by Airfou, but no, he's got a full back. These Archons are just taking bad pathing routes. That guy pops like a balloon. The other one tries to get out and explodes too. 50 supply lead for the Dong. Airfou falling back. Psystorm, Reavers, Archons. Tough nut to crack here. If he can make incredible trades for like the next 5 minutes, he can maybe force Jaedong to make Guardians out of desperation. That's the only situation I can see where Airfou doesn't lose this thing, but he is fighting, clawing. There you go. Zerg player taking the center. I didn't even mention that as somewhere Jaedong could go again. I mean, no, you're not retaking this base if there are Hydras knocking on the front door, sir. Good concave here by the Zerg. Top side, right side. Lurker's trying to burrow in. Archon's not sure what to attack. Too many units to go after, but he's doing all right. He's doing all right. The Archons are. The upgrades are good. Reinforcements coming from the north and shut that whole thing down. Now it is a 40 supply lead for Jaedong instead of 50. So Airfou mining desperately. Can't retake this base. Jaedong doing such a good job keeping an eye on this 9 o'clock. Maybe he can't stop it forever, but keeping an eye on it is huge. And there's gas in here. 3,000 gas in the center geyser. It's not as much as other expansions, but hey, 3,000 gas is nice, and if you can take it away from your Protoss enemy so they can't make more Archons and Reavers, you're a pretty happy camper. What a crazy PvZ. It was looking so good, and now it's Airfou desperately fighting for his life. We had some really nice comebacks in that Bisu versus Soma series as well. Man, Bisu had a game where I think he won and he had 0 active mining and about 50 minerals to his name. That was an incredible game. I think you can agree. Still trying to retake this 9 o'clock, but the Zerg is flooding into your 5th or 6th base. Down in the bottom left, Psystorm can only last for so long. There is so much Zerg here. But the Reaver unloads are sincerely amazing right now. Reavers, I think one of them already died. Reaver coming in from the bottom left base as well. Reaver's taking Lurker spines, but taking a lot of Lurkers down with them too. Okay, he holds it. Sometimes you don't have enough Psystorm, but that's where the Reavers come in. I don't know about Jaedong trying to come in here once more. He thought about it, and he's like, oh, you know what? Never mind. There's way too much Protoss down here for that to happen. But he, once again, hey, these Reavers got a lot of HP. Shame if something happened to it. Trying to head to the middle, maybe? Poke at the middle, take that base out? No, definitely not, says Jaedong. He's just everywhere. He's everywhere. He's in the middle. He's to the south. He's to the north. He's keeping a good eye on everywhere the Protoss is going. Target firing the Archon. Dark Swarm actually keeping the Archons alive a little bit longer, but Crackling's jump in there too. That is such a Gosu move. Charging through, trying to get into this base is Airfou. He's down 40 supply. He's been there for a while, and just... Jaedong's macro here is insane. 330 APM. He wants to snipe an obs so bad, but he can't find one to kill. So never mind, say the Scourge. I don't know why we showed up. Maybe the Hydra's already killed it. 173 to 106 supply 2. This is such a problem, folks. Yeah, I think it's over. Look at the game state. Looking at the amount of bases that Jaedong has. He's got the center. Not even using it for gas because he doesn't need to, but minerals are good. And I think Airfou done. This is it. This is his saving grace. If he can hold this left side position, he can maybe win this game. He's playing well. I think he's got a good composition. He's microing. He's storming. He takes a Defiler out. He's going to lose a couple Archons for it, which it's a lot of gas for a Defiler, but the trades you have to make as a Protoss sometimes. Oh, I love that. The speed shuttle comes in, unloads some Reavers at this spot, and says, if you want to come up this ramp, you're going to eat Scarabs. This base is undefended as a result. I mean, there's a High Templar down here. But still, Zealots try to go into... No, bad. He knows it's bad. Yeah, Lurker Sunken Town, when you just have Zealots, is not a good time. Even if they're... Well... I was going to say, even if they're not plagued, they're plagued. They're going to die anyway. Cracklings trade extremely well against Zealots in late game. Even if they're not plagued. If they're plagued, it just becomes about 80,000% easier. Look at this. Trying to poke into the natural base of a Protoss player at 32 minutes? Sure. I mean, there's a lot of production you can kill up here. These cannons are not providing a lot of value anymore. They were great in the early game, but not now. Storm, yes. Storm, yes. Storm, yes. Reaver, yes. He's got enough Storm and Reavers to hold against what's here now, but there's another flood of Lings coming in. 2 Reavers morphing in an Archon. Reavers holding for now. I think the Lings are gone, but I think the game might be over here. Holding on the left side. We've got a Defiler park down here. We have Lurkers on the side of the Dark Swarm. No observers to be seen here. The natural base. Did the Reaver die? Did the Reaver get picked up? I think one of the Reavers died. One got picked up. We are holding at the left side 9 o'clock base here, but there are Hydras coming through. They're inside the Dark Swarm. Reavers outside. Can go inside there and kill them. I think it's going to be hold at the 9 o'clock, but then more Lings roll into the natural base. We've got an Archon going, 11 kills, 13 kills, 14 kills. Does get picked off, but kills so many Zerglings in the meantime. Left side base being, yes, it exists, but there is like a probe here at the 9 o'clock, and Jaedong can just continually macro, making 40 Lings at the same time here. At the end of the game, Reaver, yeah, not really being microed anymore. Lurker is just taking it out, and no, it stays alive for now. What are you doing? Airfou holding this position. It's a crazy, crazy hold at these bases, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough at the long run. Yeah, another Reaver goes down. Just Lurker positioning. Hydras burrowing his Lurkers in. Yes, Defiler still wiggling happily down here. Dark Swarming, plaguing as necessary. Archon comes in. High Templar get a single storm off, and then get into Archon mode, and I think just come on, man, it's 175 to 104 supply. It's an exciting hold here from Airfou. He's playing very well. Everything gets plagued. Okay, that Reaver doesn't get picked up. The shuttle gets plagued for it, and that's your GG. Airfou taps out. And Jaedong gets the win. Woof! What a ridiculous showing today. So, crazy game, and it's really sad. It all came down to this base. If Airfou can hold it, bam, I think he's good to go for a while. But this Reaver back here with 0 Scarabs, not participating in the defense of his homeland, that's the importance of one person in the larger situation of a war, right? That's why leaders talk about cohesiveness, everybody doing their part. That's why bosses talk about the team, everybody doing what they need to do. It makes everything work out and you can win games. It's hard, though. It's hard for everybody to do what they need to do. StarCraft has a million moving parts, and it's hard to be on top of also building scarabs while you're doing a million other things at the same time. So, I mean, good job by Airfou. Killed this base, denied this base for a while. Couldn't really get rid of this, which was important. I don't think Jaedong needed it to win. But great game. One of the better games by Jaedong that I've seen, and some really fun micro stuff there from Airfou, too. This started off with Jaedong trying to kill Airfou in the first, 5 minutes with a Ling Flood and then a Hydra Bust, and then we went into macro from there. 320,000 points to 291,000 points in favor of the Dong. He produced 1,192 Zerg units today with 300 APM in 34 minutes flat. 300 units produced by the Protoss. That's insane. That the kill-death ratio you can have. A 4-to-1 kill-death ratio today wasn't enough to beat Jaedong because they made 1,200 units. That is just demoralizing. 53 to 3 buildings raised tells a big story, and the resource outspend is pretty good. About 10,000 in 34 minutes. Not great, but the future was really favoring the Dong there. So that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.